Today we bring together 2 points on this journey up the Via Dolorosa. One is based in the biblical account, but both reflect Jesus' engagement with women. Station 6. Luke 7, verses 36 to 39. When one of the Pharisees invited Jesus to have dinner with him, he went to the Pharisee's house and reclined at the table. A woman in that town who lived a sinful life learned that Jesus was eating at the Pharisee's house, so she came there with an alabaster jar of perfume. As she stood behind him at his feet weeping, she began to wet his feet with her tears. Then she wiped them with her hair, kissed them, and poured perfume on them. When the Pharisee who had invited him saw this, he said to himself, "If this man were a prophet, he would know who is touching him and what kind of woman she is, that she is a sinner." Jesus' relationship with women was utterly revolutionary. He continually put himself in situations where he would have been ritually unclean because of his contact with women. He broke and spurned all the ritual laws in his loving acceptance of being ministered to by women. This beautiful story of Mary anointing him and the woman wiping his feet with her tears and her hair demonstrate just how intimate, how loving, and how graciously Jesus accepted their tenderness. Jesus gave women worth and value in a way they had not known spiritually. This woman will have seen Jesus' eyes and recognized his gratitude. Our society may seem very different today, but how many eyes have you ever noticed seeking you out, seeking recognition and contact as you pass them on the street or in the town? I've seen it very powerfully as I've walked in these days of social separation. Eyes say, "Will you notice me and give me honour?" Or perhaps the eyes are downcast and avoidant, no longer believing they are worthy of being honoured, lonely and sad and rejected. May we be women and men who care as this woman did, reaching out to offer loving tenderness in the face of suffering. Station 8 tells us of Jesus meeting the women of Jerusalem. If we bear to face the reality of the women of Jerusalem, both then and now, in these photos we see the agony of their hearts, their communities destroyed, their freedoms gone, their fear for their children and loved ones, their division from their neighbours. This land and their world have been divided for centuries, and they have much to mourn. Then and now, women who see how human failure has caused unjust suffering, death, and loss. Their grief is palpable in anticipation as well as in knowing what death and loss is like. And Jesus meets the suffering head on, acknowledging their pain and focusing on them rather than himself. and he warns it will get worse. Hardly the most comforting thing. So often we seek the comfort of Jesus in the midst of our lives, but we may also have to bear the contrast of this warning. Following Jesus is hard. There is a cost. We too feel the weight of grief and of humankind's deepest darkness, today perhaps more than ever in our lifetime. Jesus does not promise us an easy life. He invites us to follow him. Our brothers and sisters in Jerusalem and in Palestine too continue to urge us to pray for the peace of Jerusalem. May we do just that, and pray for the peace of Cramlington too.